Howdy folks, and welcome to Coffee and Tools. Today we're doing sort of a blog on 3D printing because it's been a really busy, really hectic week for me. I did a lot of kitchen renovation work. Now, within that renovation work, I actually 3D printed some products to enhance the look of what I was doing in my kitchen. So I was like, cool. But I made some small white tubes to cover some of the chain falls I had for the pot hanger that I installed in our kitchen, but also installed a, we got a new refrigerator this week, and that I have to do the water line hookup, of course, because, you know, Lowe's, Home Depot, they won't do those things. But also got a new, I have this really cool new Samsung microwave that's kind of a low profile model. It looks like a pizza oven or something. It's kind of cool. But I installed that, and that was a whole day right there. In fact, I was going to shoot film that day. I ended up spending the entire day putting this microwave in, and once I got it done, it was like, I'm tired, I'm finished, I'm done for the day. The Anycubic Cobra 2 Plus usually sits right there. It's in the office. Last week I was running PetG. We had some unusual cold front temperatures come through here, and we were down into, I think we almost hit the 30s overnight. And the daytime was seeing like 40 degrees here in the garage, which was like, okay, bad enough we got to fight dust and all the rest of it, but now I'm fighting temperatures. And I was running PetG for production needs, and PetG has always been a bit of a, you know, it'll lift off the plate like that, you know, if you've got a little cold draft or anything. And sure enough, it was like lifting and doing all kinds of weirdness. So I was like, all right, you know what we'll do? We'll just take the machine, put it in the office for now on a desk in there, and we'll just run with that. Now, that was kind of weird because I had to run like I always do. A lot of times, even right now, they're not running right now, but they will be running overnight, because that's what I generally get them set up and running around 10 o'clock at night, and then tomorrow morning or the next day I'm all set with product. And unfortunately I had to run it overnight in the computer and office room, and that's right across from the master bedroom, which was like, oh man, how much noise we're going to deal with. And there was a few times where like 2 o'clock in the morning I woke up to and heard the machine running. So wasn't great, but it was okay. One of the things I want to do to get away from that, of course, and even this one, is this Anycubic machine, the new one, this 350 by 350 by 350, fully enclosed with a hard steel nozzle, so, and a heated chamber and stuff. Should be really good. It won't have the issues that I have like this. So in other words, being in the garage like this for a 3D print farm, having a bed slinger like this with it being open is a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, it's bad, and being a print farm, I really don't have time to shut the machines down. I leave them sitting around for a month while I try to figure out how to enclose them or something. I was like, no, it's not going to happen. But they were doing great right up until we had this cold front, and we're warming up again right now. I think we're going to have highs around 75 for the next, I don't know, week or two at least. I don't know what we'll slide into after that, because I am in southern Georgia, which is like, it's not bad. It's not Florida, but it's pretty decent here for winter. It's pretty mild, generally. One of the things that did happen this past week that I saw was Elegoo. And I was so close to buying Elegoo products over and over again. I got, when the Centuri Carbon came out, I got really excited until I saw the size of the build plate, which was like, yeah, like forget that. It's 256. There's no point. I have a 256er right there. That's the little SK1 that from Two Trees. Awesome machine, but it's an underdog. Nobody seems to even talk about it, but it does a great job. It does what I need to do, and it's been consistently running. Probably the best machine in here, and I really should have done this, probably should have put something on weeks and weeks ago. Actually, before we moved, maybe months ago, when I had a lot of machines still, just to talk about the most consistent, no problem 3D printer that I've got on hand that you can like just throw something at it, don't worry about it. It has one Achilles heel, that crazy little cheaty. That thing has been absolutely awesome. It has run hundreds of products off for me without any issues. Now the problem is Build plate, yeah, 185 by 185. It's like it's almost too small for me to even own it or have it in here, but it does run my small stuff off, and it has been doing a fantastic job since we got it. This thing has just never given me any problems at all. It's given me no reasons to have problems. So I was like, yeah, if you're gonna just do a review on a machine and say what's the best 3D printer you've ever owned, the CR10. No, actually, the CR10, no. But this little Cheaty has been absolutely awesome. So Elegoo, they pulled with the Century Carbon. They are apparently not going to supply the multiple, I guess it was an AMS unit or something that was going to feed different colors to your Elegoo. There's been some issues, some problems or whatever that cropped up. So it's good and bad. It sort of says that Elegoo at least is looking at the consumer like us and saying, hey, you know, if there's a problem and we can't really solve it right now, let's just pull the whole thing off. But I know that it really dampened a lot of people's spirits because they had jumped into the Century Carbon. It's great low price for an interesting printer, but you know, if we don't get the colors we want, we're not going to be happy. I'm good with what I have. All my products only run single color. I don't need multiple color. The only time it would be handy is if you had a low spool of red or something and you wanted to go to a fresh spool. You could put them in, you know, one of these multiple colors and just switch from the spool running out to the new spool. And there's also, you know yourself, there's I think it's called the Infinity Flow, where you can actually set up a couple spools and it will auto switch for you. Now, we did some experiments with that a while back with this, I think it was this particular machine right here. Yeah. And you know, pushing the new filament in behind the old filament this way through your extruding head. If the gears or anything slop or anything misaligns a little bit, bang, you got a mess. In fact, you might have to end up taking this thing apart and cleaning up the filament because it got so bad. Plus you've blown, you know, a print. So that's what happened. Yeah, it misaligned somehow, got jammed, and then I ended up having to rip that apart and said, okay, I guess no Infinity Flow for me for the time being. If there's a different machine out there that will work with the Infinity Flow situation, that would be great. I'm seeing a lot of different headaches. The other thing that Elegoo sort of boned on a little bit, and there's been a lot of criticism, is the big Orange Storm Giga. I hate to say it, that machine does not have a good reputation. It just doesn't. Everybody seems to have their complaints over what they expect and what they were hoping that machine would do. Speaking of other machines that have been a bit of a disappointment that are big, the new Solvo 8. If you haven't seen that one, that's 500 by 500. That's a big build. That's bigger than this build plate. And I got excited about that one because it does come with an enclosure as an option. And I thought, well, we know what, that would be a great machine in here, you know, yeah, you know, actually 500 by 500, yeah, that's actually bigger than what I need, way bigger than what I need. And I started looking at the reviews, and again, just got a lot of negative feedback about running PetG or anything more exotic than PLA. I mean, any one of these machines can run PLA all day long, and they're not going to have an issue with it. It's amazing when you try to step up from the PLA Plus, all that, and you try to get into these, just the PetG, and all of a sudden you've got problems, which I have a lot of trouble with PetG. In the past, I've had problems with bed slingers with PetG. My enclosed machines, which I don't have here anymore except this one, ran PetG, no problem, because they were enclosed. You know, you could control that temperature in there, and once they cooled down correctly and everything, you know, we got really good models off of them. Also took a good look at any kind of situation like where we got warping and stuff, because we had a lot of warping issues in the beginning, and slowly had to basically design the parts differently, handle the cool down temperatures, that sort of thing, and even using closed machines in order to get away from warping. This one here, the only secret I use is I'll throw a piece of rag over the model as soon as it's finished. I throw a rag on and try to slow down the cooling process, so that as you get this plastic creep that's just kind of pulling things together, hopefully it doesn't cause a warp. The other thing, of course, is use the Garboroid. pattern. I don't use the triangle pattern or anything straight line kind of thing anymore, because again, that will, if it's elongated this way, it's going to pull it and create warping problems. So in order to get away from that, we use zigzag patterns and this sort of thing to prevent that sort of warp situation from pulling the ends off. Also, keep the PEI, keep the PEI sheet really clean, and try to make sure there's not a lot of dust buildup, so that you get good adhesion to it when you're running. That's another thing too. The PetG, a lot of people have trouble with PetG because it sticks too good to the build plate. And I have had that happen in the past, but I don't seem to have that anymore. It seems like when the build plates get a little bit used like this, I don't seem to have that problem with the PetG anymore. I have some ASA here I want to run, and some ABS as well. And again, that's where I always hit the wall with these, bed slinging open machines like that. You can't do it. This can do it, but small bed. Anyways, the Solvo 8, the 500 by 500 is, I'll be honest, it's too big. It would be, if the machine was really solid and it ran everything really great, and it didn't have the kind of reviews that I'm seeing and the negative feedback about running anything exotic, that would be ultimately, I think I would actually put my money into it and just go ahead and get that machine, because it's a big machine, and it will allow me to step up to larger product even, and I can do it. But unfortunately, we're having problems. It's kind of like every time we seem to get past this, 300 by 300 or something, we seem to run into problems with the machines and start getting all kinds of, bad feedbacks and whatever. And also, and I hate to say it, but it's still lingering. A lot of these companies, almost all of them, to rush the machine out, get their own software together, and it's usually some kind of a weird copy of Orca Slicer. And the Orca Slicer itself, it doesn't have the default settings for that machine. It's a new machine, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It's like, we get into problems. And so again, with print farming, it just changes the game so much for you. Different machines suddenly become important. Other machines, like Bamboo Lab, for example, their whole line at this time, I can honestly say, it's absolutely of no interest, because none of those beds are big enough for what I need to do. Even that new the HD2 or whatever, I got really excited when I thought Bamboo Labs was going to come out with a big machine, and no, they did not. So it was like, well, it's bigger, but it's not big enough. I think the minimum I need is somewhere around that machine right there, which I'm in the office. It's 320 by 320, and it just barely, I can fit the parts on there that I need. So I guess you could say that's where my cutting line is. Like, I've got to be above 320 by 320, or I can't really, use the machine, at least for 90% of my products. So if I'm going to put money into a machine, I'm not going to buy something that's under 320 by 320. There's just no point. And the industry, I keep hoping, I guess we all kind of look at that like hoping that, they'll get bigger and bigger machines. And I keep seeing this, oh, we got this brand new, like the Century Carbon was really exciting until I saw that bed size, and it was like, nope, can't, I don't care what price it is. It's of no value to me, because if it doesn't work for the print farm, I don't need that machine around. I just can't use it really. It's just not usable. And then I get something like this where this is 420 by 420. It was like, yeah, that's actually too big, but at least I can comfortably fit my products on there. I've got all kinds of bed, room for that product. No problem. We can put it straight across or on an angle. We can do whatever we want. There's lots of bed to work with. The ideal situation, the one that I'm hoping this Anycubic machine comes out with, even at as pricey as it is, I think I'm going to go ahead and probably order at least one. I was thinking about ordering two, to tell you the truth, because a couple of those machines can probably pump out everything I need for the time being. Their 350 by 350 is like, yeah, that's right there. That's in the magic zone where I need it to be for the farm. Ideally, down the road, I've got other projects in mind that I would like to get to, but I would love to have the size of the Orange Storm Giga, for example. But I wanted to do just a blog today. Like, I'm sorry about, usually we have projects to show or do something, but unfortunately it's been so busy and hectic around here, and I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. I had planned on being past where I'm at right now by early October. I had figured that all this machinery and everything I've got set up here would be ready, up, done, completed, and would be moving on to the next project or something. And here it is November, and I still haven't even finished unpacking my boxes of tools or anything. I've been just shoving things aside, trying to store them for the time being while I wait this mess out to try to get the concrete slab in and get the building up that I want to be in. And at that point, hopefully if that works out good, all of stuff like this will all be out of here and it'll be out to the building. It won't be stuffed in a garage for the time being, trying to operate. Over and out.